Well, now we come to the second question, and this is one which is emphasized by a news story a week or so ago, that Barrie has been warned by Standard & Poor that if their debt rises another 10%, they'll lose their AA credit rating, which is going to put them in serious trouble for raising money for the things that we still have to pay for. So the question is, 2 years ago, Barrie carried out a complete assessment of the condition of all the roads in the city. They actually gave a contract to a consultant to do this. The city engineering staff have evaluated the annual budgetary requirements for maintaining Barrie's roads in the condition outlined in the assessment survey. Within the constraints of the city's financial situation, the current budget allocation covers about a third of the amount required just to maintain the roads in their current situation. As a result, deterioration of the city's roads is inevitable. So the question is, how would you address this problem?
Yes, there is no good answer to this one. No one is going to like any of our answers, I don't think. But unfortunately, we need to determine where we can pull money from other projects or tightening in other areas. We need to do more, and we have all had to do this with less, and we have all had to do this lately. With rising costs of everything, it's tough. It's very tough. But these are tough decisions, and I believe I should be part of. I know how to say no. It may not be popular, but sometimes it is the right thing to do. Infrastructure affects everyone. You may not always see it right outside your front door, but it still affects you. The road may not be crumbling in front of your house, but it certainly is on the main road that you take to work every day or drive your kids to school. The water main on your street may be fine, but the larger one leading into your neighborhood is failing and will affect everyone's water in your area. Council is already discussing other projects that are not currently funded, but are considering a tax levy to cover these type of projects, such as the Waterfront Master Plan and Excellence in Education Program. But as the budget sits, there is simply no money to move forward with these projects. Roads and infrastructure is one of the most important elements of a working city. As Jeff Lehman said last night, it's not sexy, and it's not an option not to fix it. They must be maintained, and if we continue falling behind with the repairs, they will become more costly in the long run. So unfortunately, we need to tighten our belts and do more with much less.
I know, I always trip up, and I apologize for tripping up because it makes me look like I'm not a good communicator, but I am. The first thing that I think I would do to address this issue is, as your councillor, is to ask for a review of all the development funds collected to determine if a percentage of that can be directed to rebuilding Barrie's deteriorating roads and to make up the financial shortfall in the projected budget. Several residents that I've spoken to over the last few weeks have suggested that we look at the way in which our roads are currently being repaired or replaced and to determine if there are any cost savings in there. Maybe we need to do that differently and definitely need to look at the bottom line and tighten up, and what we need and what we want are two different things, so definitely looking at that. Personally, I'd like to negotiate a 2-for-1. Can we do 2 roads and get 1 free? I don't know. Let's be creative we need to be creative. We need to think outside the box, and we need to bring money. The bottom line is, Barrie needs money, Barrie needs investment, Barrie needs a lot of investment in our city to bring us the money we need to fix our roads and our sewers and bring light. So, as your full-time councillor, and through the community building events and groups that I intend to support and engage myself in, I would bring this issue to all of you and get comments and suggestions from all of you. And then it would be my job to bring those forward and stand up for what you, the people, want. This is municipal politics. And we all have a voice, and what, now I have to stop again. But that's what I would do. Thank you.
Okay. Where am I starting? Okay. I'm really surprised that we're talking about road conditions, first of all, and infrastructure. I didn't expect that to be one of the burning topics for tonight's talk, because we've forgotten one thing. A lot of people do not drive. There's a lot of people that could care less about our roads and whether they're breaking down and things like that, because they have way bigger issues, which are not being able to pay their rent, not having any money, not being able to get off the meth, crystal meth that they're on, and take their kids to school at the same time. There are much bigger issues than that, I think. But I think to deal with that, we would have to prioritize and fix the streets that are absolutely necessary, and then wait on the others. We just have to wait. There's way more cities in different countries that have worse roads than we do here. So I think we're just going to have to wait. I think we need to communicate, and like, if you can't talk to your ward representative about an issue and get it fixed, then there's no point in having a ward. Where I live, I don't know, I haven't seen my ward rep since 2 years ago when he came to get my vote. I haven't seen or heard anything from him. So that's not right. I don't agree with that. I think that we should be able to talk. And I live right beside this catwalk, and everybody walks their dog up there, and the dog pees and pees and pees all on the grass up beside the catwalk. And my whole yard, which is a big, beautiful yard, smells like dog pee. And who can I call? Who can I call? Can I call Shipley or whoever my board person is? I don't know, because I've never heard from him. So I need someone who can help me, just like all these regular people who need little things fixed. Maybe I'm not talking to the right audience, but maybe they're listening somewhere.
Well, at the risk of going through my laundry list of committees that I sat on, as a chair of the David Busby Street Centre, I was told on a number of occasions by our Mayor Jeff Lehman that no one, like the David Busby Street Centre, could stretch nickels into dollars. Very low funded. We struggle on a daily basis, much like our participants do. And I have a proven track record of building that and passing it on to another group of people who continue to build that. So I do have that experience, and I do take umbrage with the fact that people can say that because you're on a lot of committees, you lack focus. I think it's a dedication to community that's been shown. Back to the point. This is easy. You find the things that you need to do, you find the things that you'd like to do. When you need to triple your investment in your infrastructure, you look at the things you need to do and go, maybe later. Again, I said this last time, you have to look at platforms. We've seen this in the past, where they look more like letters to Santa Claus than they do roadmaps. And that's what we need to do. We need to focus on the things that we need to do and pass on the things that we'd like to do. Thank you.
Folks, for a list of social activism, I'm happy to speak with you afterwards. The people I serve know who I am, and I enjoy serving them. The issue I think that people are missing is that the City Council, the City of Barrie, needs our attention and needs a level of professionalism there. And that's completely separate from what we do in our personal lives. The bottom line is, I actually very agree with Ecker. I think that people have been missing a key to the question. The question is not how far we can stretch our dollar, and the question certainly is not, if I take money out of your left pocket, do you think you'll notice if it's coming out of the same wallet that the right pocket's associated with? Simply put, folks, City Council needs to focus back on the core fundamentals. And the core fundamentals, the solution to all of the problems that we face inside our ward with infrastructure, etc., is bringing jobs to Barrie and creating a fertile ground, an organically fertile ground for business and investors to thrive. Without employers, there are no employees. And the bottom line, folks, in case nobody bothered to mention this, our property tax dollars, no matter how quickly and far spread we build residential development in our ward, does not sustain the bill. It does not take care of the bill. We need to bring business, and we need to support our stakeholders who are investing in our community to create jobs. By creating jobs, we enrich and broaden our tax base. When we can stop 60,000 or 60% of the population driving to Toronto to spend their 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. tax dollars in the city on everything, then we can have those dollars spent back here in Barrie so that those tax dollars go towards repairing and renewing and enhancing our infrastructure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I agree with my colleague here about investment in jobs and job creation in Barrie, and I feel like we really need to get out of the way of investors and start making it a lot easier for them to land here, make enticements, whether it's zero development fees. I know Collingwood lowered their developmental fees to zero for a period of 2 years, I think it was, and they landed some serious firms out there. This works, and we need to, I mean, if we don't have jobs at our core here, and we're not thriving, and we're not introducing new business lines, we have a great cluster, business cluster in the south end here, being high-speed data. We need to nurture that, and we need to go beyond. It takes investments. I understand cutting back and making do with what we have, and it seems to be the easiest thing running is to trim the fat until we can't breathe anymore, and that should get us out of this. It's all about investment, and I am conservative when it comes to saving money and being tight with money, but I also think you are missing the boat, missing the mark as a city if we don't have long-term strategic investment and get in line with our future, our business that we should be tapping into, not necessarily the business that exists today, but looking ahead and looking to people that have that entrepreneurial vision and seize on it. Absolutely. Going back to the road question, I think the city has a solid plan for, I'm getting cut off here, but same as what Don was saying there, making sure that we have an eye for what absolutely has to be done right now and forget the rest until it becomes urgent.
Thanks, Bill. The most successful councillor is the one who already knows how to make the system work. I have a very good track record of being able to get city staff's attention to the concerns of constituents. I return my phone calls and emails, and I take action. I follow up with city staff and constituents to make sure people receive a satisfactory response in a timely manner. I live by the old saying that an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. This is true for many things, especially roads. If we can find more money in the budget, then roads and infrastructure must be the priority. Please keep in mind that much of the repairs that are needed are not just on the surface of the road, but many water and sewer mains must be replaced in our city as well. I will also make it a priority to continue interchange improvements along Highway 400 at Ecker Road and Mapleview Drive. I will also work with city and provincial officials in planning and building the new interchange for Barrie South End along Mackay Road and an underpass joining Harvey and Big Bay Point roads. City staff are doing a good job of trying to keep on top of the problems before they occur. But this is a large city now with many streets. Let's take an example just outside the front door of this school. Years ago, Burton Avenue was the first major road to be rebuilt in Barrie. The fact that Burton Avenue was reconstructed at all was due in part to the perseverance of the ward councillor of the time, Dorian Parker. Once Dorian took on an issue, she would not let it go until
and to work within the economic constraints for the betterment of the larger community. Whenever financial difficulties hit, I think some of us tend to kind of droop jowls a little bit, but I'm looking at the back there and it says, "Do not abandon yourselves to despair. We are the people." So I just kind of wanted to maybe end in that note of encouragement. Whether it's appropriate or not, I don't know. But anyway.